Yeah, nobody's touched it.
Oh, okay.
We got plenty.
We know a guy.
It's been a minute.
I know.
Let me let you get a sip first. Go ahead. Good. I mean, should we start with the look first? I mean, showing up, it's just sending a message here. This is a business suit.
I'm here for work, man. Oh. I'm here for work. Yeah, that's the message there. It's I feel like, yeah, I've put in a lot of work, so might as well show up like I've put in a lot of work.
I dig it, man. I dig it. Obviously, frustrating result last time out. But what lessons did you take out of that one? I mean, you're supposed to learn in those, right? What did you take out of it?
Work harder. That's literally it. Real short and sweet, man. Just work harder and apply myself to, Saturday and hope for a better result.
I mean, you've never struck me as a guy that takes it easy. I mean, was that hard to say, I got to go work harder? I think you're a guy that already works hard, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I work hard every time I, get ready for a training camp or get ready for a fight, but I just had to up the ethic and, yeah, like I said, and just hope that I produce a different result this time.
That's awesome. So what has the focus been in the last 8 months? I mean, has it just been constant effort, or has it been tweaking? I mean, I know you like to break it down, so has it been tweaking the approach, or is it literally just as simple as stay in camp all the time? What's been the focus for 8 months?
It's going to sound really weird and like kind of off the wall answer, but the focus has just been focus. Like focus on what I do, focus on everything that's going to make me a better fighter, make me a better man. Just focus and eliminate, like dumb distractions. Eliminate all distractions and just focus. So the focus has been to focus.
I like it. Matchup with Modestas. Did you know much about him? What do you think of the stylistic matchup? What do you think of the fight?
Prepared to do my best, man. That's really what I think. I'm here to show up, and I'm here to do my best, and nothing else matters.
He came in earlier today. We talked to him. He said this is a situation for him where it's kind of like his idols becoming his rivals. He's talking about the fact that he was watching you as he was coming up, and you caught his attention. I mean, is that weird to be at a point in your career now where there's fighters coming up saying, I watched you, and I wanted to be like you?
I don't think that it's weird because, like, as you guys know, I've been in the UFC now for, like, almost 6 years. And although there's just been, like an even amount of results on both sides, I've been here for a while. So it's, it's not a surprise to know that there's been someone who has watched me and now is fighting me. But nothing changes. I'm here to continue to do what I want to do, and that's just be my best and win fights and make a mark.
That's awesome, man. Stylistically, is there anything that he does that concerns you, or it almost sounds like you might be in a position now where you don't worry about anybody else, it's just worrying about you?
I think you answered it. Like, this is about me. Like, there's going to be guys that have certain skills and all of these things, and as I continue to climb and fight more guys, there's always going to be just different styles, different skills that, are better than ones that I have. So I literally can't take any time thinking about that type of stuff or switching too much of what I do. It's literally just work on myself. That's what I do every single day, so that I can win fights, but so that I can go back and watch my own film and look at myself and be proud. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to please the MMA community and, and even like you guys, I'm sorry, but like it's hard to please you guys sometimes, I feel like. And now it's just I've gotten to a point where it just doesn't matter. I want to please myself. I want to be happy with myself, and that's it, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Last thing for me, I want to ask, what is the goal here? You said you want to get your hand raised, but, I mean, is that really the goal, is getting your hand raised, or is it more about being proud or feeling like you accomplished something or you performed in a certain way? Is that more important even than the result of the fight?
No, I want to get my hand raised. Absolutely. I was proud of myself for my last fight, regardless of the result. The stuff that, like the personal stuff that I was dealing with, and just everything. I was going through a lot in my last camp. And for me to push through 3 hard rounds, with a guy who was tougher than I expected, with my brain telling me all types of things during the fight. Like I said, I didn't get the result that I wanted, but I swear to you, I was so proud of myself for what I did in there. So, yeah, but I want to get my hand raised, man.
And when you spoke about doing this for yourself instead of for us or for other people, which makes sense, is that very freeing as a fighter? Does that make you feel like, oh, I don't need to live up to other expectations? Is that freeing for you personally?
Yes and no, because at the end of the day, I've got to please you guys. I've got to please the UFC, or I don't have a job. So it's freeing on one side, but on the other side, it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, there are some other things that I have to also take into consideration. There's another thing too, is yes, I'm doing this for myself, and sometimes and some days it can be a little bit harder because I feel like I'm the most critical of myself, and I'm constantly trying to meet this expectation that, that I believe that I have, I believe that I'm this good or whatever, and I have to prove it to myself. So, yeah, it's a bit of a struggle, but I feel good where I'm at.
Just expanding on that, I'm sure everyone has days where they go into the gym and they're the best guy in there, and then there are other days where they go in the gym and perhaps they're not on form and the other guys are getting the better of them. When you're on the drive home or something, how can you not be so critical on yourself that you almost don't get out of bed to go again? How do you say to yourself, that was one day, we grow and we improve? Do you talk to yourself? Do you make plans to improve, or how do you deal with that?
I don't think that there's been a day this camp that, actually, let me take that back. When I feel those days of discouragement, or I got worked in the gym and it's really tough and I'm analyzing and all these things, there's times that it's discouraging and I feel like, maybe whatever thoughts come with, discouragement, whatever those thoughts do. But the thing that I've done differently is just keep showing up. Instead of running from things or doubting things or, always wanting to feel like the best guy and all these things, I just continue to show up. And if I get work 3 days in a row, I get work 3 days in a row, but I'm coming back on the 4th day with the same amount of effort, if not better, until I start to, end up at a place where I'm not, down on myself. Or I think that answers your question. I'm not sure.
It does, yeah. So basically just consistency and discipline over anything else.
Yeah, man.
Only one question for me. I know a lot of times the mental side of the game could be just as tiring as anything physical that you have to do. With doing all the focus on trying to focus on your focus and things like that, what do you do on the flip side where you want to step away from fighting, when you want to stop focusing so much on work and your career? What does Khalil do to kind of downtime? What does your downtime look like if you give yourself downtime?
In the past couple months, I haven't. I haven't given myself any downtime. Downtime for me is sleep. Sleep, rest, recover, hang out at home. Hang out at home. Netflix or something. If I feel like that's what I want to use to distract myself, or not distract myself, but keep my mind occupied. But yeah, lately there's been no outside life really, especially moving back to Vegas. It felt good to be back home and see my family. The 2-3 times that I did see them this camp, which is weird, I thought, yeah, I'm going to be back home. I'm going to be able to see everybody and all these things. But like once I started focusing, all of that stuff just kind of went away. So I'm looking forward to being able to see what the downtime is like after this.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
You mentioned the MMA community being hard to please, and I'm wondering if you have kind of given up reading things about yourself, reading comments, avoiding social media. Has that been something you've had to do?
Yeah, I mean, I do not necessarily enjoy reading articles, not even about myself, just like other guys, right? Because me being a fighter, if I read something on another guy that was written, I connect to it in a sense. So I see guys that are like, you know, they're on this climb, they have a bad fight, and then it's just like everything switches, or like something said about them in an interview, you know, from a journalist or something. I'm like, where did that even come from? Like, how do you discredit everything that this guy's done? Or like, why are you even saying these things? Like, it just, there's a lot of just thoughts that come, that came into it. Because at a time I was like very emotionally invested in a lot of this, you know. I cared a lot about articles and interviews and, you know, all of these things. And, yeah, it's just more, I feel like it's just more of a distraction, you know. Like, I can now leave that to you guys and separate myself from it, and I do my job, which is show up and fight. And whatever you guys have to say or have to write, it's not for me, it's for the people.
And what about the positive side to social media? Have you gotten messages from fans that have said, you know, you changed my life, or you're an inspiration? Have you gotten any of that?
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of those, and I love to get those type of messages. One thing that I've noticed about those type of messages are they're not from like people who are, I guess, considered MMA fans, you know, like the guys who are just always reading, always watching every fight, know every fighter. No, they're from kind of just like normal people who enjoy watching mixed martial arts, and for some reason they've connected to me, and they just, like the fans that I have, the cool thing about it, the real ones, is like they support me for me, and win or lose, like they're just always there, like, you know, messages and, you know, all of these things, encouragement, and I think that's the coolest thing. But I've gotten messages from people like sickening, and in the past, it caused me to kind of question myself, like, why do I even do this then? You know what I mean? Like, if it's, you know, I started to realize, like, that one or two fights is, like, I can be, like, disposable in a sense, you know, even when it comes to, like, gaining fans or gaining people's interest. And they're like, oh, I thought you were good in the Eric Anders fight, but, I was wrong. I'll never bet on you again, or, like, you're trash, or, like, all of these things. And I'm just like, wow, like, this is, it's sickening. Because you people don't know anything about what we have to go through. And not you people, but, like, you know, the people messaging. So, yeah, I've disconnected, and it helps my focus.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Just one follow-up on that. Is fans saying, you lost me money, the most annoying thing you ever deal with?
No, sometimes I love it.
Okay.
Absolutely. Sometimes I love it. Like, some guy messaged me or something and was like, I lost $650,000, and I was like, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. I'm so happy that you lost all that money. You know, like, just like there's just like, you know, a little bit of that anger inside that, you know, that, like, you know, and I'm like, yeah, I'm glad. I'm so glad that you did, because, like, I hope that you feel the pain of, like, yeah, it gets to a very, like, dark place. But, yeah, sometimes it's annoying, but, like, in the past it was annoying. There were times that I loved it, times that I hated it, but now I just don't give a shit. Whether you bet or not, my main thing is to make sure that, like I said, I do my best, then that I'm happy with myself, and that I get my hand raised, and then hopefully in the process, everyone who cares is entertained. Yeah. Cool. Thank you, guys. Also, really quick, I don't know if there's any of you in here that I've blocked on Instagram, but like, don't take it personally. It's just because like, if I go to my Explore page and it's just like, you know, MMA article after MMA article, and then I was like, how do I change the algorithm? And the only thing in my mind was like, I have to block everyone. So it's nothing personal. It's just the fact that you guys are, you know, journalists, and you're the reason that my Explore page is just full of UFC stuff. All right, whatever. Thanks, guys.